Hello, so this is probably the first time I'm probably going to mention these sort of games because like these are the kind of games I really like and will probably mention a lot in like future videos just sort of because of how much they like inspire me and everything. But I think these are recommendations I like to give out because they're um I feel like they're not like any other game that's like really out there. So I'll list like some of my recommendations going from my most favorites to uh more down lower on the list of like um lesser recommendations but still amazing games that you should play. Um the first one I'm gonna list is actually I have like two games that are a mixture of my most favorite games of all time. Um, One of them is being Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds, this game is just absolutely fucking amazing. I feel like there's no piece of art or like media that has ever existed in history that is like this game. There is nothing quite like it, and does the sort of it does sort of storytelling and like the gameplay, and it integrates it together in such an interesting way that can only be done through video games. And I think it's such a high statement to say this, but I personally think it's one of the most important pieces of art to ever be made in the history of this entire world. I know that's like a bit of like an exaggeration, but I'm not even kidding when I say there's nothing like this game. And it's genuinely like such a beautiful experience when you like first play it. And it might turn you off a bit at the sort of like the fact that it's supposed to be a space exploration game, but like the planets are really tiny and that the gameplay is usually just you taking like this translator tool and like reading a bunch of text out of it. But there's so many things I could just say about this game. It is amazing in every way. I could make a video just off of me talking about it for an hour, just going through every single element of it. Everything is just fantastic in that fucking game. And yeah, there's gonna be no other piece of media like it. Even if they were to make a sequel, it still wouldn't be quite the magic that this game has. Yeah, I mean, if you're a pretty artistic person or like if you're a creative person and you're not into video games much at all, I still 100% recommend it. Because I think it taught me to be a more creative person myself and kind of experiment with like new things. Anyways, my second most favorite game of all time, which is in mixture with this, and I think it's another one of the best pieces of media ever made, is Disco Elysium. This game is fucking fantastic. It yet again, it's the same kind of game where it's like it only the story could be like told through the sort of like game format it's in. If you were to make it into a movie or a book, it just wouldn't work the same way and it wouldn't be as immersive. But you essentially play as this like detective that's he wakes up with no like memory of anything that happened in like his past life, and you just like build his like personality off of this sort of like fantasy like realist like setting, like this dystopian setting where it's like you're in this place that's just kind of bombed to shit by like previous warfare, and like you just get to learn, you just kind of wake up in what seems to be this sort of like alien planet, and you just like learn about all of the sort of like things that are going on and everything. You're just like placed right in the middle of it, and it's a game I could go on about for forever. And unlike Outer Wilds, where it's a game you really just can only play once and like it doesn't have any replay value, but it's the best experience you're gonna have in your goddamn life. Disco Elysium is the best experience you're gonna have in your goddamn life, but you can replay it. It has a lot of different paths you could go on. As a matter of fact, the game has over 1 million words of dialogue, which is fucking insane. That is a lot of dialogue, and it's so well written for how much writing is in this game. Every character just has like some really good qualities in it, and then there's like stuff that can be analyzed, like the art of the character portraits that directly represent sort of from your character's mind how he sees the character as. And it's quite sad what happened to the studio behind this game, because they were truly passionate about it and they just all got fired. So that sucks. Another game recommendation I have, if you have like a PlayStation or whatever, I'm quite sad that they don't have these games on like Xbox or PC or whatever. But it's actually 3 games. It's the Team Ico games. These games are really awesome as well, from like an artistic and like design standpoint. Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, Last Guardian, even though that gets like quite a bit of shit. Those are games that really just like push the boundaries of the genre. Hold on, I gotta check how much battery I have. But they really push the boundaries of like the genre, and Ico is just a really interesting game for like the sort of technology it had at the time and the innovation along with that. And it tells a really beautiful, emotional story. And Fumito Ueda is like a huge inspiration to me. I think he's like quite an awesome guy, and it's pretty bizarre how he's not even really a game designer. He's really just like an animator and like an artist. But a lot of his like designs and like I think his like creative his creative directing like really like it shows yet again that like you can only like tell a story through like games in a certain way, and they can't be done through any other media, and it can be actually quite beautiful enough that it can like make you like cry at the sort of beauty it has. But another one I have is it's let me think, I forgot the name. It's I think Tunic is a really great game from a design standpoint. It's quite a short game, but I love how the game is just designed to have so many goddamn secrets inside it. There's still people like finding some like stuff in that game to this very day. Like there's some like crazy shit in that game where there's like a whole like language and like the colors of like how the game are like is like presented, or like maybe there's like a hidden passage you can like get to by freaking hitting a random rock on like one side of the map and then like playing some like there's some like stuff in that game that's just like so like hard to just like reach. And the game is just really interesting in how it kind of goes from like a simple Zelda kind of game to a Dark Souls game, and then to a game where it just leaves it up to you and like the community to figure out like the rest of the game. And it's quite a great experience as well. I had a lot of fun playing it. And finally, the last game I want to mention is I'm trying to remember this one as well. Another game that I would recommend. I'm trying to think of it. I might not even have any more. Those are just the ones I really just wanted to talk about mostly. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, I think those are really just games that like you might have not even heard of before, but regardless, I think like especially like Outer Wilds and Disco Elysium, I feel like everybody in their life should play those games because of it. Just make sure when you like get Disco Elysium, you like pirate it because it if you don't, I mean, it's just gonna give the company support, and like, there's a whole story about how the company basically stole the game from like the developers' hands, and it's a really sad story. But it, Outer Wilds, I see that as sort of like the Citizen Kane of video games. You know how like Citizen Kane in like film was like really innovative in its sort of like cinematography at the time being and its sort of storytelling. That's the same way I feel about Outer Wilds. It's I feel like it's a game that should be placed next to works like the Bible or the Mona Lisa because it's that important of a game. And but that's just me personally. Yeah, no, this is just my opinion, right? I mean, I'm like a nerd at that game. I mean, I'm like wearing a shirt that's like that comes from the game itself. That's how much of a huge fan I am of it. And it's pretty crazy how it's just a game that you can like beat in like 20 hours, I'd say, and there's no replay value to it. Yet I'm still obsessing over it years after I've played it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are my recommendations. If you're into like a bunch of video games, yeah, see ya.